Hello everyone, my name is Austin Pasquale. This is a rundown of my course project and the progress I've made. Um, the origin of my scene, the purpose of it, is I have a human being, a baseball player, making contact with a baseball using a baseball bat. Um, Basically, this just derives from my love of sports. I love baseball. It's my second favorite sport behind football. Um, and it's just something that I kind of thought of when the course started. I thought of something, a sports related animation that I felt like I could convey. It has been difficult, and I know it will continue to be difficult as I start to animate it, but it's something that I've had fun with. So here's some of my process. So this is the beginning, two screenshots here, simple stuff. The very beginning, my first taste using Maya. You see the evolution of the head, added the neck, some jagged edges, and that was something that was really bothersome, but I just couldn't quite figure it out. Um, and then here I start to form the body. Um, you see starting to come to life a little bit more. Arms come in, and then and the legs come in. The hands you see was actually used, was created using the cartoon hand tutorial from the textbook. So I thought I would implement that. It was a good use. Um, Something I did not realize at this time, though, which became a problem, was that we could not extrude. We could only extrude, excuse me, we could only extrude from one polygon. And that's something I didn't realize. So I was using different polygons and combining them. And so you'll see differences later, specifically with the legs as I go on. So here, just tweaking the posture and shaping. This is about week 3. I used the lattice and the bend tool, a couple others as well. The lattice tool was used to shrink, narrow, make the body more narrow, and then the bend tool just bend the legs a little bit, add some realism and fluidity, some movement to it. Adding background elements, this was big. My background props consisted of a baseball bat, baseball, home plate, and the backstop. Very key things for, of course, my scene. Um, you see the evolution of the creation of the baseball bat. You see the reference planes, the images I use for the top, front, and side view, and then basically using the smooth tool, using the curve tool to create it, and smoothing it out. Looks pretty good overall. Other background elements, the backstop, home plate, as I mentioned. I used the pencil curve tool for home plate, and this extruded it to give it some depth, and backstop, pretty rudimentary shapes, just to make it a little more realistic. And then I used some shaders and texturing. This is the next step. Enhanced it with that. You see some shimmeriness on the backstop, but the really big thing here is the texture of the backstop. And I used a metal image for that. Made it pop a little bit. You can definitely see the difference when you look at the two screenshots. And then for some more texturing and shading, the baseball bat made it white, a little sleek, made it pop a little bit more. And then the big thing was mapping that Louisville Slugger image to it. Made it look a lot more realistic, like the reference image you see behind it. Stretched a little bit, but I think it looked pretty good. It's kind of fun going into the render view and checking that out. And then for the baseball field, of course, use a grass image, gave the surface terrain a little bit of depth, extruded it a little bit more, home plate, just some shading, subtle shading. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to utilize bump mapping. I wish would have been able to, but it was a little difficult for me. And then this has really got interesting here. Adding the lighting was fun. First screenshot, you could see the 3-point lighting system implemented, the 3 spots, the front, top, and side view. This was ambient lighting, so very, very bright. But what I did was, per the assignment instructions, added 2 more styles. You see the spotlight and the area lighting. Spotlight, very dramatic. Area lighting, much more subtle outside of how the baseball field is lit, the actual field itself. 2 big differences there, and this is where it really came to a close, and it's leading me into the next course. The ray tracing and soft shadows was really fun to utilize. Really liked how it turned out. Really made it pop. The reflections, the shadows, just very dramatic, and it looks a lot more realistic. And softening everything up at the end just made it look even more realistic. So this is honestly my favorite part of the entire course. Basically, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed a little rundown of my process, and I'm looking forward to the next course where we can actually get these things into motion. Thanks.